Hi.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, all right. Glad to see you.
Hello, another week and another episode of We've Got This Maybe, the podcast.
See our X Factor tape again, Erin.
I know, yeah, we're doing well, aren't we?
Well, I tell you what, just quick side note. It's not long now until the second Wicked. Are you a musical fan?
So I did watch Wicked. I watched Wicked when it first came out, and I loved it when it was in the theatre. Yeah, I'm now really looking forward to it.
I'm very excited. I'm like, yeah, it's one of the big countdowns I've got. So yes. See, and I'm sure we'll be karaokeing it.
I'm really worried with Wicked though that it's going to be a bit like every other series that comes out, and the seconds aren't as good as the first. How do you follow Defying Gravity closing?
But you think that, and that's, I don't know if you've seen it in the theatre, but in the theatre, that's the interval.
Yes, yeah.
So again, you sit there and go, well, that was stunning.
Yeah.
And then obviously when they open up and it's all the, and I'm not going to do any spoilers, so don't worry. But it's just phenomenal, like how they do that. And it's so incredibly emotional. And I can't wait to see Cynthia do it. And Ariana's very funny. I didn't know she was that funny.
So maybe that's what we need, an episode to discuss our trip to the cinema.
I mean, the cinema, musicals, I'm all up for that. Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
But it's how it evolves. Hey, Erin.
Well, what are you stealing?
Did you see that?
You're stealing my role. Look at you segueing in right there. Well, guys, today we're talking about the evolution of us, I guess. You know, where we've come from, where we're going, like what we've actively changed, what we still want to change, and what we look back on now and we think, okay,
that can stay there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to park that right over there.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, like kick us off. Like, what would you say, like one like notable change or an area of evolution you've seen in your life?
Oh, definitely my attitude.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What, you're more of a peach these days?
More of a biche. I'm more bougie. I definitely am much more bougie than I ever was. Well, that's the money.
We've just come off your Halloween party, so yes, I can definitely say you're a bit bougie.
I just think, I mean, when I was younger, I was a bit of a dick. But I think there was a lot feeding into that. My depression and my anger and all the rest of it kind of like became a wonderful cocktail in my 20-somethings where, I was a bit of a dick. And although I played hard, I drank hard. I'd love doing, everything and what have you. I just think now I've realized what's important and none of that is important anymore.
Did you have fun though?
Oh, so much fun. I don't regret a moment.
So you're not like, you're evolving in terms of, I'm going to keep that core memory and that's a really great part of my life. I don't ever want to forget it, but I've moved on, rather than shut that door, never looking at it again.
So I think as well, because I've had, eons of therapy, which obviously, I've shared here many a time, I think I've been able to acknowledge and accept and embrace the dickhead and how that has been on my evolution, and I had to be like that to learn a lesson for me to, be the person I am today. I wouldn't be now who I am if I hadn't have done those things. So I've just let it go. And it's like, yeah, cool.
When you say like being like a dickhead person, your word, like, was that like, in what sense? Because I can't imagine you being that way. Like, you're so thoughtful, you're so kind, you're like so considerate, all of those like things that like everyone would love to be. Like, what were you like
selfish?
It's okay, so selfish,
spoiled. Okay. I would say very much out for myself. I would say touching on narcissistic.
Ooh, okay.
There was a lot of that, and I think that came from a defense mechanism.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because of my depression, and it's one of those things where you I really was an introvert, but I sort of lived as an extrovert.
An introverted extrovert. That's how I associate myself.
So I think it was kind of like I knew what I was doing wasn't. Sometimes I knew what I was doing was not nice, but I just did it, and it was one of those things that when you're young, the world, like it just didn't matter. Like you just did what you did, and it was all about looking good and making sure that you were friends with the right people and you were getting into the right clubs and you were, being seen as that person. Whereas now, I don't give a flying hoot. I'm quite happy with the VIP guest list, lounge for my front living room. Thanks. you know.
And it's that choice. It's actually, I'm now choosing to not attend that event. Like, do you know what I mean? That is evolution itself. Like that whole thing of like feeling like you need to be invited, need to go, need to be seen, to actually being like, no, I'd rather not.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I think we've talked. I mean, whether it's on this or before, like we've talked before, where we've been out with some occasions, let's say, and we've both kind of been like, wish I was there. Well, I actually wish I was with Darren rather than where I was.
Yeah,
and it's a different world now
because you're often trying to like relive like a previous you, a previous version of you, a previous time. And you're just not in that world anymore. You just don't care for it so much.
And also the people that you were in that world with, we've all changed. I mean, some people haven't, let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's some people where you're like, yeah, okay, you haven't changed. But, the majority of us just aren't the same. And we weren't, bound to be together for the rest of our lives. It's fine. Some of my friends that I were like, if I'd got married in my 20s, that were my ride or dies in my 20s, I wouldn't even like, I don't know them now.
Yeah, and I've 100% relate to that. And I guess for me is like, I feel like me as a person, I feel like I'm so much more like comfortable in my own skin. I probably care so much less, and I've said that before, whether that be a good thing or a bad thing. And I do sometimes wonder how much different my life would have been, like in lots of ways, if I would have felt how I feel now then, before I had kids, when I had more freedom, when I was able to just, just be more free and be a young person. And obviously I feel like I've now come into myself, where I have more responsibility, and I'm almost sometimes seeking a little bit more of that freedom now, because I'm sort of torn between being like, I want to enjoy these experiences because I now feel this way, but then almost not being able to.
But I think, Erin, like if you think about it, when you were younger, you didn't know what you know now, and you were making choices and things based on what you knew and what you felt at the time. So when you look at kind of, you almost like through your kind of evolution, you're almost distilling and distilling and distilling down to what who Erin really is. Your confidence now is wonderful, and you've been through stuff that has made you question stuff. So now you're beautiful, you're fabulous, as you probably were in your 20s, but now there's just a more pure,
a freer, like honestly, like that whole feeling of like, a weight being lifted off your shoulders. And that is the only way I can describe it now. A lot of the time, I don't care about looking silly, I don't care about,
no shame here.
No shame here. I don't care about singing along to the wrong words. I don't care about singing in tune. I don't care about like dancing like nobody's watching and all of that sort of stuff. Whereas before, I did care about that, and I would restrict myself, and I wouldn't enjoy myself, and I would, stand in the corner, like, like literally stand in a corner, or sometimes just feel I was in a corner, and just not being able to do it. And I don't know what the change was there. I think maybe feeling like, as you say, like more secure in people I was around, like just generally growing up, having the responsibility of that, the children, and like owning something like that, not owning my children, but do you know what I mean? Is feeling like you've got that purpose now. Whereas, we've spoken so many times before about that self-confidence, that self-worth thing. I think having children can do so much for that, because you suddenly have this purpose that you didn't have before.
So it's interesting you say that, because I would also challenge that.
Oh,
and obviously in a healthy way, because we are obviously such good buddies. And I would say absolutely you've got a purpose as a parent, and it is absolutely part of who Erin is. But as you grow older, as maintain that parenthood, etc., it's not all who you are.
No.
So that it evolves. So when they get older and you kind of like, you're like, come back to being 3 years old and super cute. And now you've got a stinky 13-year-old who sits in his bed and doesn't wash. That's okay, but again, it's like allowing yourself to still be Erin and finding that repurposed version of Erin.
I do feel like I'll feel that. And I'm already in my head thinking about that now.
Oh, yeah.
That loss. that loss between like being needed and not being needed. But I almost feel like I found myself so much now that actually I won't need that and I'll have more.
Yeah. And I genuinely feel that, us as parents, and I'm sure our parents would have said the same, that that transition is hard. But again, you have no choice but to evolve. You can't go back. You've got to go forward.
Yeah.
And it's finding yourself again, reminding yourself that you aren't just Freddie and Max's mum, you're Erin. And one of our friends at school who said this to me, and it changed the game for me. And she said, I don't want to be known as Matilda's mum. I want to be known as myself. And I was like, oh my God, so true. Like, yes, I am Sophia's mum, and that is a part of who I am, but I'm not just Sophia's mum. Like, there's so much more to me, and I think it is really a powerful statement for parents to recognize and remember that, like you say about before we had the obligations, the responsibilities, the whole parenting thing, like we were free. We could do whatever we want. We could go out. We could come back. We could eat what we want. It didn't matter that clothes weren't clean.
Honestly, people just take that, honestly. I think people really consider that change, like that actual change.
Yeah, and it's huge. And the other thing about having purpose with kids is that your free time is so diddy that you have to distill, what do I want to do in that free time? Because I don't have a lot of this free time stuff. I want to make sure it matters, it means something, or I want to do something that I enjoy.
Like, so what's like the next stage for you? Like, where are you evolving to? Do you have anything in mind? Like,
Honey, and just going with the flow.
Yeah, but that's sometimes the easiest thing because you can't. Whereas I know some people that are, creating mood boards. We've spoken about the mood board thing before. They're, they're chanting, they're doing all of that.
Manifestation.
Yeah, they're manifesting. They've got this real plan and they're going to get there one way or another.
Good. Honestly, I could not be prouder of people who are willing to invest in their future in that kind of way. Because again, if it matters to them, do it. If it matters to you to journal, do it. Like, you need to have those tools to help you with that evolution. Now, I do not have the mental capacity to do that. And so I'm just like, life, do what you need to do, and I'll navigate that as it comes. Whereas some people want to have that mood board, that kind of focus, that, I want to retire at 55 or...
I know, it's like, what age do people retire?
Yeah. I mean,
how old are we working? Oh, honestly.
We're going to be working till we're like 70.
I was going to say, not to cut you off, but I was having this conversation with Rory, I think, the other day. And I was like, well, as much as I'm, mid-30s, in terms of our working life as a percentage, that's freaking nothing. That's nothing. I've not even worked a quarter of my working life yet. And to think I'm going to be having to, work in some form or another, if you're not, whatever.
Yeah.
But by the state, that is what I'm going to have to be doing. Unreal.
And do you worry about the evolution, the next Erin, or are you just going with the flow? Or
so, I'm very much at it. The fate thing, like everything happens for a reason. So I tend not to plan. We had this conversation like really early on because I think you were saying you're a bit of a planner, and I'm very much like I'll take it as it comes. So I don't really have a plan. I think what I do find funny is when I reflect on things, like even like the smallest things. Like, I don't know about you, but when you were younger and you were going out with your friends, right, there were like eras or like years that would go by and that there was a look that was in fashion, right? And you'd go out on a night out and everyone would be wearing like that look. So whether it be like the bandage dress and the stiletto shoes, or the disco leggings and the long top, or the blouse and the heavy chains and all stuff like that. And then you get to a point and you then go out and everyone's wearing something different, right?
Yeah.
I went out with a friend about a month or so ago and I rocked up at her house and we just looked at each other. We were both wearing the almost identical outfit. And I was like, have I just gone backwards in my life? When did this happen that I was sort of back like in a trend? Like, I feel like I've like devolved. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we're now like dressing the same again. Like I need to get back into that whole not just doing what everyone does, not just dressing how.
Yeah, but are you
does.
though? Are you just picking something out because it either feels familiar or you like it? Or were you purposely seeking out what the trend of the time was?
I think I was doing a little bit of
different.
I think I maybe was going a little bit of a trend. Like, I've only got limited things in my wardrobe, but it was the first time in so long that had happened, because I don't ever really rock up anywhere now and I'm dressed like the same as anybody, because I feel like the age we all are, in the different ages we all are, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
We've all got different style. We've all come from different styles. Whereas like previously when you're growing up, you're all in.
Yeah. You're all in. Like, I remember the Spice Girls foam wedges, and we all had them. And it was like, are you going to get the same color as me?
They're so comfy though. I actually have a pair of them.
Do you still? Oh my God, I was so jealous.
Or similar.
Oh, I remember the buffalo boots. Loved them, because obviously I'm like 5 foot nothing. So, I mean, they were great. But yeah, I mean, do you know what? At the end of the day, if you want to treat yourself and you want to wear something that is trendy, wear it. Like, the thing is for you to own it. If you want to wear it. Like, I genuinely am at that stage where when people are worrying about what they're wearing, as long as the worry is about that you don't feel comfortable, that's okay. But if you're worrying about what other people might think, or the way that other people might interact with you because of what you're wearing, that's not okay. Because like you say, we're old enough now. I'm old enough, I'm stupid enough, I've been through all the shit.
Yeah.
I drank the amount of wine, like, I'm fine. Like, I don't, do what you will. All good. But I want people to really value who they are. Like, if you want to set that, that focus and make sure that you get that on point trendy stuff because you just wanted to feel part of something, do it. Or if you want to go the other way and do your own vibe, do your own vibe. Sophia came downstairs the other day and my God.
What was she wearing?
Oh, she had Halloween socks on, like bed fluffy socks. She had rainbow leggings, a Christmas dress on,
loving it,
and then she had a white vest on top of said dress, like a summer vest, and then she had a pink cardigan. And I was like, "Ooh!" I said, "What's going on here?" I said, "Are you going to be too hot?" She goes, "No, it's my vibe, Mum." I was like, "Crack on."
I love that. And you just allowed her to crack on that all day.
She got very hot. She got very hot. So we ended up kind of like removing a couple of layers. But again, like, I'm just like, if that's what she wants to wear, it's not, it's not offending anybody. It's not hurting anybody. Just let her do it. And, the amount of times where I'm not allowed to choose her clothes anymore and I'm not going to battle her, just let her do it. Just let her crack on. And, I remember Maddie, my God, when Maddie when she was like in her teens, some of the choices of clothes she had of me and Lawrence were like,
oh, but that's a rite of passage.
But that's it. And Mads will know, like, I bloody love Mads, and she's awesome. But yeah, some of her choices were questionable, as were mine when I was in my teenage years.
As were mine.
Yeah, it's
like,
just
honestly, like, and like, credit to my parents, because I don't think as a parent I would be like that. And listening to how you talk about like Sophia just then, like, well, my two boys don't sort of do that sort of thing. They're quite fussy about their clothes, but they're not often coming down in like crazy outfits. But I don't think I would be able to bite my tongue in those situations, like a teenager going out dressed wild.
Well, look, you've got you're a parent, so you are kind of allowed to have an opinion that goes, you're not going out in that.
Yeah.
But again, what you're doing is you're looking at it from a risk perspective, right? Particularly, I think, when you've got younger children going out, girls in particular, where you're thinking, is that going to cause more risk around them potentially getting hurt or, unwanted attention, things like that, which should not be the case, FYI.
Yeah, but it is.
But unfortunately, it is. So again, there's lots of things that you're kind of contraring because you don't want to see your babies hurt. But at the same time, yeah, I do not have time to worry about my child's outfit. Like, if she's comfy, if she wants to go out like a vet,
and she's
fine.
And she's expressing herself. Like, what's wrong with that? And I think for me, like, so many of the things I say no to with the kids, and I think we've spoken about this before, is because my own issues with it is like needing to have that control, not necessarily agreeing, not seeing it from their perspective. Like, yeah, absolutely. If I was 5 years old, I'd want to put on every single item of clothes I've got or dress up as a vet or whatever and go out. Like, I just wouldn't understand why I couldn't.
But at the same time, if you remember being a parent, you know what they're good. Like, for example, if you're going, I don't know, on the bikes, or if you're going on the trampolines, you know they can't wear shorts because if they scuff the knee, it's better for them to wear longer trousers.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Because you know what's going to happen. So you're avoiding.
Yeah.
It's just I think there absolutely are places for parents to be able to say, no, you're not wearing that. And yes, I mean, Sophia has come down many a time, like in the heat of summer, mid-30s, she comes down in a full-on Santa outfit. And I'm like, you're going to boil. But I want to wear it. I'm like, Sophia, go back. You're going to boil. Go take it off.
I love that.
So again, it's just choice. It's just, but again, like, we all evolve at different paces as well. There's some people who will be ready to retire at certain ages, whereas some of us still want to go out.
Like, do you feel like you're on a journey now? Like, do you feel like you're in a phase of like Vic's evolution, or are you like in a consistent
definitely in my
place?
favorite Vic's era?
Oh, you are. Okay, what makes it your favorite? Like, what
I
you
think
loving
just
it?
because oh my God, I don't sound wanky, but I'm so present. I'm so here. Like, life is just, there's been so many things that have happened where I've seen that life is short. You cannot not be present, because if you're worrying about the future all the time, you're missing what's happening now. If you're worrying and regretting what's happened before and going, oh my God, what, I've always been like this. I've always done this. Change it. Do something. It's okay not to have to do the big thing, but do something that makes you feel joy, something that like gives you that vibe back. Because I just feel if we lose that presentness, we're not gonna.
And that's the thing. And I think there's so many, like, sometimes maybe as women as well, I feel like there's slightly more pressure in this like evolution thing, because like it's the rediscovering yourself after having a child, the rediscovering yourself at work, but then always being the best of everything, and you've really got to try and like manage that situation. Like, it's so incredibly difficult. Like, how do we always be the best version of whatever character we're playing that day or that hour?
But it's being true to yourself as well. It's funny you say character, because I remember last year I went through a bit of an imposter syndrome-esque episode at work, and because I felt I wasn't professional enough, because I'm very much like how you see right now. I mean, minus the alcohol, but I'm very much sort of bubbly and kind of like, very positive, outgoing, optimistic, helpful, coaching style. Like, I'm there for everybody, want to help. Let's find a solution. And I just felt like in my peer level, I was too daft. I was too like,
oh, okay, interesting.
And I felt I wasn't serious enough. I didn't belong in the room because I wasn't like serious and I didn't like say big words. And it took a leadership coach to help me overcome that and say, you are Vix. You are worthy of that space. You are worthy of that seat at the table. And do not deny yourself your natural.
It's that imposter syndrome thing, and I think we need to hold this conversation for another day, because that's
a big one.
It's such a big one, and how you can get it at such different points is, you know, how you see yourself to how others see you, and like that confidence and that presence that you hold in that space, and all of things like that is, it's a massive conversation. And like, to feel like from here on and for all those years before, we've been on this constant journey of evolution, and you know that there might be a stage of our life that we evolve into something that we don't like very much for that period of time. And as much as maybe I speak for both of us in saying that we're quite happy with where we are, and actually we've come from places, whereas now we're in relatively good places, we've like grown, we've like developed, we've like improved in lots of areas, that might come down again, and we're gonna have to deal with that and then build ourselves back up, and then how we deal with everything in between.
Yep. And just, you know, everybody's got their Hollywood movie. You know, we've all got our kind of moments where the, you know, the bad things happen and we don't feel that we can get out of the rut, but we do. And it just takes one moment, one step, one change, you know, one small thing. You know, when people say like the greatest journey takes just one step, you know, you just started with one step, and everybody can do that, but sometimes that first step is the biggest.
And 1,000,000%, I think everyone can relate to that. Is that one thing you really put off or you avoid, and it's so impactful. And that's one of the reasons I love these conversations we have, because it's so reflective. Like, sometimes I listen back to the earlier conversations and I think, oh my God, the growth that we've had since then, just through the conversations that we've had. And like, you and I speak about things and it reframes like my own mind, my own thoughts, like my own perspective. And I think, you know, if I can just like bottle that and like carry that with me.
I think there's something definitely around the fact that you can absolutely learn from the past, but don't let it inform your future. So again, take it on, like, you know, carry it in your pocket, touch it and feel it a bit, but then carry on. You know, the fact that you don't want anything to hold you back. You know, we're all just trying to get on, and like, you know, that's the whole reason for the title of this podcast. Maybe we've got it, maybe we haven't.
Maybe we've got this, maybe we don't. We're not quite sure half the time.
Life is hard, but I think it's just making sure that you're true to yourself. Don't do it for others. Don't do it for what people are telling you shouldn't do. If you feel like you want to wear purple socks every day of the week, then wear purple socks every day of the week.
As long as the laundry easier, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, it would, wouldn't it?
Nothing I hate more than that pair in socks.
Honestly, why is that like missing sock the thing?
We've got a sock monster, honestly, Vix. Every month or so, I will buy for the kids a new pack, 7 pair of socks.
Yeah.
They go in an instant. I can't even.
And I'm convinced they're shoved down some bed somewhere. And they're not.
Oh, this is just, okay, put this one in your bank. This is another conversation. Like,
sock monsters.
The sock monsters and just general life admin crap. Like, all of that sort of stuff we have to think about. But that always brings me back to, as you said, like, we've got this. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We're not quite sure.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm proud of where I've come to. There's little bits of me that I'm not too proud of. But the rest of it, I just go with the flow, and it's just,
But those bits, don't forget, those bits you're not so proud of have made you who you are, and those are the funny memories.
Oh yes, well, there's far too many of them to count, but well,
I like that one.
Yeah,
sometimes it's nice just to think about what's going on, where we've come from, and just appreciate.
We're checking in, Erin. We're checking in.
That's where we're checking ourselves.
Yes, and obviously to our listeners, like, check in with yourself.
Check in and check in with us.
Check in with us.
Yeah, check in with us. You know, drop us a comment, leave us a message, follow, subscribe, like, review, all of that fun stuff. We love to hear from you.
And this time we want some help, because this is coming up to nearly a year of us doing this. So if you've got any ideas or any questions or anything you want us to cover or anything that you want us to do, let us know, because we'd love to have some ideas.
Yeah, we would. Answering some of your questions and covering some of your topics and all of those things, that is a dilemma for you. A delight, but absolute delight, a dilemma for you in your friendship group, your relationships, for you personally. Because if you're thinking about them, we're probably thinking about them. So yeah, get in touch.
Yeah. Oh, cheers, babe.
Cheers.
See you next time.
Oh God, mid-November. Cheers.
Cheers.
See ya.